This is a mic check. Mic check 1, 2. Hello, all you beautiful people and aliens out there. This is a mic check. I hope you can hear me. Hello, everybody. This is Martha with Light Diamond Creative. I am a biologist and meditation guide, and I'm coming in hot with lots of information about meditation, the science behind meditation, as well as a set of meditations that has been gifted to me by an anointed Buddhist monk, Vajradarshan. These meditations given to me in October 2018 have made an incredible difference in my life through the practice of them. And so in this meditation audio series, I am sharing the practices as well as a whole slew of insight, etc., because now is the perfect time to meditate. If you don't know, now you know. Alternative coping mechanisms, bruh, sis. Okay, so just real quick, before we get into the nitty-gritty of today's episode, and hey, I'm keeping it to 20 minutes. I'm timing myself. There's no getting away, lost in the wind, and going all the way to 50 minutes like one of or two of the episodes in February. We're keeping it to a strict 20, okay? So really quickly, in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, I guide in-person meditation classes using the assistance of the 9 Chakra System, which has been gifted to me in ancient Tibetan Buddhism practice. Every time I'm with people, including myself, going through this meditation practice, we all feel better afterwards. There's a distinct difference in our individual and collective energy. So come see it for yourself. That's at the Eureka Springs Community Center on Fridays and Saturdays at 11 a.m. till 12. And also in Fayetteville at the Human Experience. Those classes are on Wednesdays and Thursdays starting at 7:30 p.m. and those are 75-minute classes. There is a special event coming in March, which I have created and am so excited to share. This is the Empath Development Workshop. And if you get chills when you hear the word empath and you feel in your heart, yes, that's me. Hey, come on out. Come check out this workshop and see and learn what there is to see and learn so that we as empaths can develop using awareness about our personal nature and enhance our skill sets, our strengths, so that we can really optimize our individual and collective experience on Earth right now. Okay, so I hope to see you there. That will be at the Human Experience on March 18th, which is a Saturday, and March 20th. The 18th is at the Human Experience. The 20th is at the Eureka Springs Community Center. You can check out their websites. Just Google them. Come check it out. It's going to be awesome. You can find more information about the creative output that I send out into the ethers on Light Diamond Creative. On Instagram, on YouTube, on Venmo. Hey, if you're feeling generous. But this is free content because we are all navigating, doing our best, hopefully doing our best, and we all need a little help. So I am hopeful that this information will be as beneficial to you as it has been for me, and that is why it is free, baby. As long as you've got YouTube, you've got access. So feel free to follow Light Diamond Creative. Feel free to like the videos if you get something good out of them. And feel free to subscribe and help the channel grow so this word can get out to others who would benefit from the practice and the science, the awareness of meditation. All right. In February, this podcast began. And in February, we began with not only the science of meditation and introducing that material we also went into the root chakra, and we are taking our time working up the body because that is how the meditations were given to me by anointed Buddhist monk Vajradarshan. I was given the root chakra at the basic level to practice for a while, a couple months, and then I was given the next chakra, which we will be getting into today, once I had completed some time within the root chakra. So if you are listening to this and you have not yet heard anything about the root chakra, I would highly recommend going out to the first through 8 episodes and listening in on those to get yourself cued in to this whole process. Any work we do in the root chakra will benefit all other chakras. So highly recommend going back to the first through 8 episodes and seeing what insight and what meditations you can glean from that material. So there we go. That's the intro. And today, this episode I'm very excited about. Today, we are talking about the root energy and a read on the collective. And not only a read of current collective root energy, also getting into some remedies. That is exciting. So let's talk about the root chakra again. This is what all the first episodes are about. The root chakra. All right, let's just bring our awareness into the base of the spine for a moment. The root chakra is a fundamental, foundational space of not just the physical body. It is also a foundation of the energetic body. And our energetic body is bigger than our physical body. It doesn't all fit into the skin. So it's very important to give awareness to this space because of how much influence the root chakra has when it comes to the rest of the structure or the rest of the energetic flow within the individual body. So just a quick review on the root chakra from the Tibetan Buddhist practice that I've been covering. In the 9 chakra system, the basic level of the root chakra is about trust. And you may find yourself activated just hearing the word. You're like, trust. If that's your response, then hey, we just got some work to do in the root chakra area. Now, in the 7 chakra system, this has very much to do with stability, security, and things like that. And we can just blend the perspectives together. So, the root chakra on the collective level. When you think of humankind on Earth right now and the root, what comes up? When I think of the human collective on Earth and the root chakra, what I read is that we have some work to do here. Collectively speaking, when I think of the root, I see that many of us are not as strong in the root space as we are perhaps in the chakras that are above the heart. When I think of collective energy and observe human nature right now, I see that we are very energetically active in the mind space. And that is okay. Humans in general are extremely intelligent. We have a complex and compartmentalized brain that has functional capabilities beyond most other mammals, let alone other animals on Earth that have developed brains like birds. So it is pretty natural for us to have our energy active in this space. However, we have a lot of other energy potential outside of the brain and to rely on the brain alone for interpreting our environment and navigating amongst it would be to limit ourselves. The heart is, now I've read a couple different things. I've read that it's 1,000 times more electromagnetic than the brain, and I've read that it's 5,000 times more electromagnetic than the brain. So we can, for a moment, imagine our mental energy moving down the body, moving into the heart space, accessing the realm of feelings. I know. It might be a little out of practice. That's okay. It's okay, because there's a lot going on, and many of us have moved into the mental space because some of the collective experience right now has so much trauma that it can be a challenge to let ourselves feel, because there is a lot of pain on earth right now. And if we are empathic, then we do feel some of that, if not a lot of that energy. I challenge anybody listening to this to allow yourself into the heart space, and then further allow your energy to travel down the spine and through the gut. Now, the gut is a highly intelligent area that is activated by our environment in a lot of ways, including what we choose to ingest. What we choose to ingest affects our gut, not only health, but the way our gut is able to read and respond to the environment. What we're pulling in, what we're consuming affects the gut a lot, right? There are a lot of epigenetic factors that come into play at that point. Now, since a lot of us are very activated in the spiritual centers, spiritual chakras, heavenly chakras above the heart, and maybe not quite as present physically in the body, this can leave us pretty dissociated. So what I find when I observe people is that, a lot of us are, deep into our phones, slightly dissociated from the physical reality, because the mental body is and can get very caught up in the online dimension. And so that can leave us pretty dissociated if we do not make an effort to grounding into the root. And let's just go ahead and address that we on Earth have experienced trauma collectively over and over and over again through, example, war. War is traumatic. War hurts the root chakra on a level that is difficult to fully put into words. Killing each other has a way of really damaging the root chakra, and not just partaking in the act of killing another person or being a victim of murder through war, but also observing and knowing that that is a way of being in humanity right now can leave us feeling very unsafe in our bodies. And so, yeah, it makes sense why we would want to disassociate from our physical body, because when we are in an unsafe environment, it can be difficult to face. That is a challenge. And 2020, I'm not sorry for addressing it. It's about time we continue this talk about 2020. What was 2020? We have what we think about it now, which each of us has our own perspective. And there was so much trauma going on collectively, politically, media-wise, personally, energetically in 2020 that the compounded effect of it all has left some of it forgotten, because our minds just couldn't keep up with every single detail of the shit show that was 2020. Also, when we look at the 9 chakra perspective and how it relates to trust, yeah, it makes sense that we have issues. It makes sense that we have trust issues. When we experience trauma, that challenges our ability to trust. And it's not necessarily a bad thing to reevaluate how and when and to who we give trust. It's not bad to evaluate our ability to trust ourselves. However, when we experience a number of challenges like 2020 presented, yeah, the root chakra, we have a whole energetic development going on here because, I'll just use a personal example. I had already been illuminated to the fact that the U.S. government had mass manipulated the USA collective in post-industrial revolutionary times because the U.S. government wanted to make money. Capitalism, woo! So after the Industrial Revolution, they hired Sigmund Freud to work for them because he was an expert in human psychology so that they could sell more products. And it didn't matter if they hurt people along the way. Actually, in their test subjects, which were Freud's family, I believe they were his niece and nephew. It may have been his son and daughter. I'd have to double check on that. But in any case, these family members that he tested his psychological methods on ended up dying of suicide and of alcohol overdose. So when I came to know that before 2020, and a lot of us had trauma before 2020, so a lot of us experienced 2020 and said, I will not trust XYZ because blah, blah, blah. Now, some of those lessons are super valuable, and it may take a lot of time to know which choices were the best in the long run. I'm not here to tell you what was the best choice because, the truth is, I just did the best that I could with the knowledge that I had, and that's what a lot of us did. But understanding that a lot of us had trauma beforehand, well, hey, you know what? Maybe that trauma beforehand was a blessing in disguise because it caused me to reevaluate how, when, and to who I give trust. And it caused me to really dive into myself, my ability to discern my environment so that I can make decisions that work for me, that are in alignment with me. And so, not all trauma is necessarily bad. And I know some of you all don't want to hear it, but if you're far enough out from it and healed enough from it, then that means that you have taken the lessons and began to apply them in a way that creates benefits in your life instead of being a victim of the trauma. And that takes time. So if that upsets you for you to listen to, I'm sorry, but it can be a gift if you decide to make it a gift. And it does take time, but eventually, if you decide to find the lessons and find the gold nuggets, then that trauma can be transmuted. Trusting the self and the root chakra. Let's talk about sovereignty for a moment. If the root chakra is bright, if the root chakra is functional, if the root chakra is in good shape, then I am able to trust myself and I am active in my sovereignty and not dependent on other people's decisions to validate what I think is right or wrong for myself. If my root chakra is healthy, then I do not need the approval of others in order to behave the way that I behave based off the decisions I made, based off of the experience I've had and the information I've learned over time. Sovereignty is coming into individual energy and trusting in it and behaving within the blueprint of your personal spirit according to what you see is right without the need to convince people of what you're doing either. Not only do you not need people to validate your reasons for behaving a certain way, you do not, we do not, I do not need to tell you what I did and how to make decisions in order to validate what I'm doing. I do not need someone else to behave the way that I'm behaving in order to do what I am doing. So sovereignty and the root chakra and trust, they are all tied together. The root chakra is also about the physical body. So when I think of the USA population and the root chakra, I see that many of us are not quite as strong and somewhat imbalanced in this area. And it's okay to be wherever we're at. I'm just saying that because of the average health in the US, I see that, I interpret that as root chakra inadequacy. And I don't mean that in a negative, like judgmental way, but we can see based off of our exercise behaviors and average dietary choices and amount of movement, we can see in our physical bodies that on average the US citizen is maybe not doing so hot right now. Although there are examples of people who are balanced in the root chakra, and that will reveal itself in a healthy physical body. The root chakra is about basic needs being met. And, you know, in the US, we do have poverty issues, period. There is a discrepancy in the way that wealth is distributed. Now, we can look at capitalism and we can look at all that, but we're not going to dive into that right now. What we are diving into is that when our basic needs are met, our root chakra is healthy. We can think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and this is a psychology and sociology concept. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We need a safe shelter. We need food. We need water. We need connection. We need financial stability. We need sex. That's what he says. I mean, it depends on if you're going through a period of, what's the word? You know the word. Abstinence. Yes. But, you know, it is in our nature. It's in the nature of all things on earth to have sex. So a healthy sex life is part of a vibrant root chakra. Okay, here we go. These, although we might not be doing so hot on the collective level in the root space, there are things that we can do to help ourselves in the root chakra, including yoga, including meditation, including eating well. These are just some basics, including getting sunlight, including getting your feet on the ground, including imagining and feeling and resonating with the frequency of earth, just imagining ourselves connected, knowing that we are a product of Gaia, knowing that this earth is our home, and exploring that helps us to activate our root chakra in a healthy way. And you know, we can play on our strengths too. So if our root isn't so strong right now, but our heady space is, like our crown, if we feel like we get a lot of downloads from source or information direct from source, we can use that to our advantage to balance out the root chakra. And actually, when a lot of people perceive and teach about the root chakra, they teach it as the root chakra being connected to the crown. So the crown chakra can be a space that really helps to amplify the healthy energy of the root by taking an idea and grounding it into the physical space, by taking a thought, by taking a knowing and aligning with it so that the actions and the movement through life on earth is in congruence with the idea, with the thought, with the download that is present in the crown chakra space, in the third eye chakra space. You heard? A way that we can strengthen the root chakra is by exploring and practicing radical self-trust, and not just trust in self, but trust in source. And I know that that can be a challenge. It's one that I'm working on. Radical trust in the external. Well, how am I supposed to do that? because this, and this is going on. Well, I've come to a point in my life where I cannot focus on all that. I need to focus on the goodness of life, and I choose to align myself with the idea that the universe, source energy, the cosmos, spirit, God, Goddess, is a benevolent energy that seeks the best outcome and experience for all life that exists presently, in the now moment, in all of the past and all of the future. What I choose to believe is that trusting source, spirit, the divine, whatever word you use, trusting will bring more beneficial experiences into my life, because if I trust, then I am receptive to the goodness of life. And that radical trust, it's a muscle we flex over time. It's not like we'll just go from trust issues to radical trust overnight. I don't think. I mean, I haven't been able to do that. It's taken some time. However, we can move from one space to the other with our will and with practicing trust, with practicing discernment. You know, we don't need to give our trust to everybody. We don't need to trust everything. That's part of the root chakra activations, is to use my own self and personal exploration to find, what can I trust? I can ask myself, what can I trust? Can I trust myself? Can I trust this person? Can I trust this event, this place, this time, whatever it is? And sometimes the answer is no, and follow that. And there are some things still, believe it or not, that are worth trusting. And so when I find those gems, can I practice trust? Can I trust myself so that the frequency that I'm feeling when I practice trust will lure in, will magnetize the experiences to me which are worth placing trust in? And that is a matchup of radical self-trust with trusting divine source energy. Are you getting all this? Because, you know, I could keep going, but we're already at 27 minutes, so I got to get into the next episode. I do want to leave it off with saying that although collectively it feels like we are not so healthy in the root chakra space, we can be. We can change. Things can and do get better. We have the sovereign ability to choose our path forward. We can cultivate environments, internal and external spaces, that create a healthy root chakra. And things, people, some of it is worth giving trust to. And there are leaders out there. They're probably not in the popular government, but there are leaders out there. You can find people around you, I'm sure. If you look, you will find someone who is demonstrating healthy root chakra behavior. And I encourage all of us, myself included, to open ourselves to aligning with people, places, things who demonstrate healthy root chakra behavior, so that we can practice trust in a way that grows us internally on the root chakra level. And this is all for episode 1 of March, episode 9 overall. This has been the Root Energy Read and Remedy for the collective. And my name is Martha at Light Diamond Creative. If you like the podcast, give it a thumbs up, share it, whatever. I'm just glad you're here. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.